What's up, everybody? My name is Morten Farsson. Today we're going to look at how you can construct a lot of different chords from basic triad shapes. So in this case, the shape of G, triad. So we're going to look at this in three different inversions and then talk about how we can use this to create all these other chords. So if you don't know what an inversion is, that means you have the same notes, in this case G, B, D, but in different orders. So this is root position. That means we have the root on the bottom, and then we have the third and the fifth of the chord. First inversion would be having the third in the bottom of the chord. So what we'll do, just take this root here, move it up an octave, and we get this chord instead of this. We're not going to use it right here, right now. We're going to use it on the same strings, the second, third, and fourth strings. So we're just going to move it up here. Right, we have these notes, root, first inversion, move it up here. So we have this shape. Second inversion means we're going to have the fifth in the bottom, in this case a D, and we're going to move this up here. So that's what we're going to work from. This root, first inversion, second inversion. So, first thing to do, learn what the chord notes are. So in this case, root, we have root, third, fifth. Move it up here, third, fifth, and the root. Up here, fifth, root, third. So this you gotta know cold. Without thinking about it. This you just have to know it like this, right? It's also a good idea to know what the chord names are. So B, D, G, D, G, B, right? So yeah, practice that, and we'll just move quickly on now. You can watch this video, the rest of it later if you want to, or just you can watch the whole thing and then go back to it, whatever you want. I'll try to keep things moving pretty quickly to not bore the living daylight out of you guys. So let's start with a sus4 chord. A sus4 means we replace the third with a fourth. So of course you know where, and it's a half note above the third. So when you know where the third is in every inversion, that's pretty easy to do. In this case, it's the middle one, so we take that up here. So that's a G sus4 chord. Next, first inversion, we take the third, which you of course know is here. Move it up a half step to get a sus4. And the last one, the third is on top. Move that up a half step, and you have a sus4 chord here. So now we have the same basic chord, but in different inversions. Yeah, next one, sus2, or it's often called add 9. It's not quite the same thing. Add 9 would be a triad with an added 9. Sus2, I would guess, be well, it's a debate if that's a correct naming of the chord, but that, you know, who cares? What we're gonna do right now anyway is to replace this third with second. So that's a whole step below the third. Up here, next inversion, you know where the third is, of course, it's here. Move that down a whole step. And the next one, you have the third on top, move that down a half step, and you get this. So we have these chords. Nice sounding chords, I think. Next chord we're gonna look at is a major 7 chord. So major 7 is an added major 7. In this case we're gonna replace the root with the major 7. So we're gonna take this root of the chord, move it down a half step. Next inversion is here, and root, of course you know, is on top. Move that down a half step. And the last one, you know the root is in the middle. Move that down a half step. and we get this inversion. Next on my list is a 7th chord. So a 7th is the 7th half step below. It's a 7th chord. This may be a little bit confusing if you don't know it, but when you learn a 7th chord, when it just says 7th, that means actually flat 7th. So it's a flat 7th note. So the major 7th is going to go a half note down. So this like this. Take the root a whole step down instead of a half step down. Next inversion is here. The root is on top. Move it down half step, a whole step. And the last one, root is in the middle here. Move it down a half step. So we get these shapes. Okay. Next chord, we're going to do a minor chord. So a minor chord is a third, major third is going to be a minor third. So that's going to be a flat third. So down a half step. Move the third down a half step. Next inversion. This is major, this is minor. We have the third on the bottom string. Last one, we have the third on the top string. Right? So we get these inversions. And we have two more chords, minor 7. So start with the minor triads and replace the root with a minor 7th. So that's the first, that's the root position. Well, I guess it won't be root position anymore because we have the 7th on the bottom, so it's going to be actually a third inversion, but never mind. Next one, we have the root on the top, move it down one whole step. Now it sounds like a B flat major chord, right? But if you have the D on the bottom, you hear it as a minor 7th. And the last one, the root is here, move it down whole step. So we get these inversions. And the last chord we're going to do, this is for, I guess, extra credits, it's a minor 7 flat 5. So starting with the one we have so far, the minor 7, and find the 5th, move that down a half step. This first one, we have the 5th here, down a half step, and the chord sounds like this with the root here. Next inversions, we have the 5th in the middle, move that down a half step. Last one, we have the 5th here on the bottom string, move it down a half step. So we get these grips. All right, so you have something to work on now if you don't know this stuff. This is really, it's a good place to start if you want to get into not just like the big jazz chords, but any like comping thing you want to do besides playing the cowboy chords, right? If you want to get into playing kind of freely across the neck, whichever chord you're playing. This is a good place to start with that. And also, of course, we can build the big jazz chords on top of this. Yeah, it's a very, very common. All the chord shapes I played for you now. And you'll notice also, and this is a way to kind of start understanding connections between things. You probably noticed that some of the chords that I play, some of the shapes can be several things, right? a shape like for example, like this, like the G. It could be like a G major, but it could also be E minor 7, right? And yeah, a couple of more stuff like that. This shape here could be G minor 7. It could also be E flat major 7. A couple of more examples on stuff, but stuff like that, you'll see, you start to connect the dots, and it's a pretty big canvas to cover. But this is a good place, and everything I've said in this lesson, I believe you should know stone cold, without even thinking about it. So good luck with that, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.